Should I buy and renovate a condo? That's a great question, and sometimes the answer is yes. And in this week's video, I'm going to show you a condo that we just got from Matt. Let's go in and check it out. I'm here with my good friend and client, Matt, and we just closed on this amazing condo in a great neighborhood, and there's lots of good reasons why I want to talk about this condo and what we're going to do with it. So Matt, maybe the first thing you could just talk about is how do we get here? How do we get to this condo?
Yeah, absolutely. So 3 years ago, you introduced, at the time, my wife and I, to the building next door, which is part of the same complex. So one of the things that we liked about this right away was that it's on the west side of High Park, so it's very family friendly. It's in a great school area. It's a little bit less crowded and a little more spread out than the other side of High Park, which is really the Roncesvalles area. So we had actually been living over in the Roncesvalles area before we moved here. And that's one of the reasons that we really noticed that this area is a little more spread out, a little quieter. It's just a nice little pocket tucked away that seems kind of a little bit less discovered than the other side of the park.
Yeah, totally. And now, so it's an older building. So let's talk a little bit about that, because there, I personally think there are some benefits to the older building. But when you discovered it, what were your thoughts there?
Yeah, for sure. So we looked at a number of new builds, and we also looked at some of these older buildings that you're mentioning.
Yeah.
The things that stood out right away, layouts in the new buildings, much smaller. You could not get a proper 3-bedroom. Square footage was smaller. Fees generally were higher in the new builds. You also didn't have a track record with the new builds in terms of, how they were being managed, and you didn't have a sense of like how the reserve fund and the operating funds were being managed over time, which is a really important thing. And we had heard, my wife and I at the time had heard a lot of bad stories about fees going up very dramatically 3 to 5 years after people had purchased.
For sure.
So it was nice here to have a nice long track record, kind of a 30-year track record, and to just see that it was a well-managed building with a healthy reserve fund and things in good order that way.
Yeah, and as a real estate, investor, what I like about these buildings is the space you get per dollar is amazing. Like, you can actually have a family, like raise a family in these units, right? You're not all like jammed on top of each other. They're solidly built. Like, I guess I have some concerns with the way some of the newer condos are built. I won't say which ones.
Yep.
But these are, this is solid concrete construction. Honestly, it's not going anywhere, and fairly cheap to maintain, I would imagine.
Yeah. So the maintenance fees here include everything, right? So your hydro, your water, all the way down, your cable package, even your high-speed internet is all included in your monthly fees.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on top, right? To your point about solid construction, concrete walls, concrete floors and ceilings. You do not hear your neighbors.
That's amazing.
So from those perspectives, absolutely, they don't build them like that now, and that was another big feature of this that we liked. Also, you mentioned the price point. For whatever reason, these units don't get marketed the same way, or they don't seem to get the same attention that a lot of the new builds get, for whatever reason. There doesn't seem to be, so the prices don't seem to get driven up as high. You can buy these cheaper as long as you're willing.
Reasonably priced.
Reasonably priced.
Yeah.
You come in and you make it your own with a reno.
Yeah.
Right? But
totally.
The bones of the building itself are actually really good.
So let's talk about that. I mean, we're doing a reno on this condo, and I think in these buildings it actually makes great sense. Sometimes it doesn't if you're buying a brand new condo that's fully finished. I don't know if it makes any sense to renovate that, but this property, where you get it, like you said, at a decent price, you put in 50, 60, 70,000, you get a place that you're gonna love and you can raise your family, and B, you actually added some value, right? You could turn around and sell that for, not a ton more, but definitely more, right?
For sure. Well, I mean, the first thing to say is, first of all, these people are starting to discover the old builds, so and those prices are starting to go up.
That's true, in this neighborhood especially.
Yeah, so I do think even from an investment point of view, it's a good buy.
Yeah.
You're going to come in at a lower price point, and you can make it your own, like you're saying. That's what I'm doing here, and that's what my wife and I did at the last place.
Exactly.
We came in, we gutted the unit, we made it our own, but we still did that at a lower price than it would have been to purchase a new build and walk into something that we didn't design for ourselves.
Yeah, and you get exactly what you want. And another thing I like about this building is it's actually a bit of an older demographic. I mean, I guess maybe you can talk about that a little more because you've been in the building for a while now.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. So the buildings were set up in the mid-'70s. A lot of owners here are original owners, right?
Yeah.
Or have been here for a long time.
Yeah.
So I would say the demo is starting to shift now. Those people are moving on. They're cashing out. They're moving on to retirement homes.
Yeah.
And the demo that's coming in are young families, people who can't afford to buy detached or even semi-detached houses, but they want good family living, and you get that here.
And I guess, one of the downsides, I guess, of an older building is while this one has lots of amenities, they're dated, right? I mean, I guess that's the downside. And the exterior looks old. The hallways don't look as great. I mean, I know they're fixing them up, right?
Yeah, so I think a lot of that has to do with how the building is managed. So, for example, the cladding on this building was all replaced about 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Which and the windows were replaced also in 2015. All of the windows in the building. The lobbies and corridors, they have a project. The board now has a project that's coming up starting next year to update all the lobbies and corridors.
Amazing.
So as long as that work is getting done, you have a good board, things are being managed properly. Those things, you shouldn't fall back on those items.
Totally. And I guess, another benefit, especially of these buildings in this area, is they're not like built to the edge of the property line. Like there's still tons of acreage and tons of green space.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's an outdoor tennis court, there's a barbecue area, there's kind of a wooded area along the back of both buildings.
So you kind of have a woodlot.
There's lots of grass and park. I was out with my daughter last night kicking a soccer ball around, and definitely in a downtown condo. They're built right up to the edge of the lot. There's very little grass or open space at all. You wouldn't be able to do that. So.
Yeah. So thanks so much, Matt, for letting us film your place and following the story.
And thanks for getting me in here.
You're welcome. It was a fun process. And I'm really excited to follow Matt's reno because we don't do a lot of condo renos, but I think it's, A, the right area, and B, the right time for condo reno. So I'm really excited to follow this process. I hope that's okay.
Absolutely.
You're probably excited to see what it's going to turn out to be like too, I guess.
Absolutely.
I hope you found that hugely helpful. Please like this video and please leave a comment below and please smash that subscribe button so you get updated each and every week when we post new content. Talk soon.